Peace, 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 fam. How y'all doing? This is Oracle Deborah with the Oracle Deborah podcast on YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are on episode 6 tonight. Um, and I'm recording this on Friday, November 8th, just before 9 p.m. So yeah, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate that. I am really encouraged to get out here and post something as often as possible and get my content up, to get my quality of audio up. And I think my dinosaur laptop, the audio is not so great. So I'm on the newer laptop, which I rarely use. Um, but so hopefully this audio is much, much better. I have had a fantastic week. I just really have. It's a great week for me. And even though today, tomorrow, I'm going through a little bit of shadow work. Um, Actually, I've been tested quite a bit. Now that I think about it this week as well, there was a lot of testing going on, particularly before the election, like days before the election, maybe even a week before the election. Consistently, I was just being tested, and you could say I was crashing out, but it was a controlled crash out. Like I had scheduled time where I could just, you know, just be frustrated and say what I had to say, kind of thing. But I, was resilient and, you know, kind of stood on my square in public. But then the election happened, and then I was so happy. I was really happy. I'm telling you, I've never been this happy after an election. I've never even felt emotion other than um, doubt, and not even really maybe once I felt anticipation when I first voted, and I voted for the first Black mayor in Philadelphia, and that was a big deal back then. But really, I was encouraged to vote. It wasn't because I really wanted to vote. But in this election, I had no intentions of voting. As a matter of fact, um, I would say a year ago, when I was at a CE class, I um I got into a conversation with another participant in the class, and I said, I'm not doing this voting thing no more. It doesn't do anything for me. That's how horrible I felt after I voted. And I always voted Democrat for the most part. And I always felt horrible. And I just thought this thing is not working for me. And it just seems like when I stay out of the game is when things get better for me. That was my thinking, honestly. And I know that doesn't make sense for people who are in politics, because you kind of need to be in the game, but technically you cannot be in the game and still make an impact, as we did in this election. Many people stayed home, stayed on the couch, and did not come out and vote. And that was an element that contributed to the Democrats losing so badly, because people stayed home. They were like, you know what? I'm just not voting for anybody, pretty much where I was. But as I came closer to the election, I was like, I feel like since we are in this historical moment, that living, we are living witnesses of history being made right now. We have Pluto at 29 degrees in Capricorn, about to go into Aquarius. We're at the cusp of the age of Aquarius. I mean, there's just so much going on here. And I've been saying this for a while, that we are witnessing history in the making. And then I thought, it felt like my heart opened up the day before the election. And it's like I knew, it's like an openness about something inside of me. And it was like, you have to vote. And then finally I said, you know what? I have to participate in this moment. I cannot, let's put it that way. I cannot sit out on this one because this is history in the making and I need to be a part of it. I need to know I was a part of it because no matter what happens, I want to be able to say I was, this is where I was, or this is what happened, and this is how my vote impacted, the election. And where I live is a deeply blue state. So, you know, the the impact generally we would make here is if we don't go out and vote here, in order for the Reds to, take control. But I went out and voted anyway, and I felt like my vote made an impact somewhere along the road, somewhere down the road in some statistic, my voice mattered, my vote mattered. And I was very happy at the outcome. So this is where we are. Now, moving on, I did a short this earlier today because, I mean, yes, we are watching people crash out over the results of this election. And, Democrats, the pundits, and, the women from The View, i.e., Sunny Hostin, really crashing out badly. And so those are the people, over and over again, we're hearing, they're crashing out, they're still crashing out, they're crashing out more, blah, blah, blah. But what I did not expect were whom I thought and whom these women pretty much portrayed themselves to be as foundational Black Americans. They exposed themselves. It was like this election, and because, they portrayed themselves as foundational Black Americans. And for the people, for our people, quote unquote, our people, and what's best for our people, it turns out that they are tethers. They were closet tethers. And these women went out on their platform boldly and proudly prior to this election, more than, probably a week or within a week or so of this election, and proudly stated, because, one sister is so-called spiritual, that's her, that's her gifting, and she has a nice little following. And the other sister also has a pretty decent following. And she is I'll just say it like this. She's not an astrologist, she's not in astrology, but she's in a craft quite similar. I'll just put it that way. And I know of this person's mother, and I knew the type of woman she was. So I figured she was just starting to show, excuse me, excuse me, fam. She was just revealing the teachings that she grew up with in her household. That's what I was getting, because I was starting to see a different side of her. And I was like, her mother is coming out at this point. Her mother's spirit is coming out, and she's starting to reveal things. But it was even more than that. She came out, as did this other woman who's spiritual. And they revealed, so, basically, I'm going to tell you right now, Kamala is going to be the one winning this election. And it's just going to be, the beginning of the divine feminine, da 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 da. And I was like, wow, okay. So I was a little surprised. But at this moment during the pre-election, during the campaigning, it was hard to tell who was going to win because everybody was lying, particularly the Democrats. They were just lying big time, even though we were seeing how they were crashing and burning during the campaign, they were just lying about the numbers and the polls, and you know, and just delusional to some degree as well. And I was like, it was hard to know who was going to come out on top because this election was so intense and so important. You didn't know that even if one or the other one, that something diabolical was going to happen. We were hearing about um, people's ballots being burned or thrown away. And it was just so much chaos around that. So for me, I wouldn't call it. I couldn't call it, and the universe didn't drop anything on my spirit in my sleep. I usually have dreams about the stuff. There were no dreams, none of that. So for me, it was just, I knew what I didn't want. That was the key with me. I knew what I did not want, and I knew who um, I wanted to win, or I felt had to win in order for me not to experience what I deeply did not want. Okay. So when I'm hearing, let me just say this: the one sister who's the spiritual sister, upon hearing her so-called prediction, I was surprised, but I was like, hmm. But I knew, I was like, well, I'm not on the same page as her. I have a lot of respect for her. And, if her guys are telling her, that Harris is going to win this thing, I don't know. Because, a lot of what she says does come to pass. And she's usually on point about a lot of things, or seems to be. And I didn't hold it against her. I just was like, hmm. But I was intent on what I did not want and making sure that I was like, this person needs to win because this person's going to make sure that I don't experience what I think this other person is going to do. You feel me? Um, so we post the election, post the results. Pundits are crashing and burning. Democrats are going crazy. And I come across a video of this other woman, right? Who, like I said, I was familiar with her mother, um, and her thinking. And long story short, she also confessed that she was basically lamenting in tears over the loss of the Harris campaign. She was literally lamenting, like a lot of these other women, Black women who were, I don't know if all these women are Black or Foundation Black America, but I have to say that some of them were Black, most of them probably were women of color. I mean, I don't know. But she was literally lamenting on her channel. And I was like, what is this? And then she goes on to, to her horn about what she's done in life and who she's connected to, and and how she's connected to all these high profile people. I was like, she was like, sometimes I just have to remind people who I am. I was just like, this doesn't sound like confidence to me. And then she went on to share a video of two Black-ish men, I put it that way. I think they were also men of color. And they were upset, but their upset or lamentations were like, I can't believe how stupid these people were. Why would you vote for this guy? I mean, y'all get on my nerves, especially these like Hotep people, and y'all just hate everything and deride everything. I mean, they were crashing out. Okay. They were totally crashed out. It was like, we were this close from being in the White House and having this and having that. And I was like, are they delusional? And they were like, and you're not even producing anything. And I was like, well, and that's when it dawned on me. Now I went on a comment. I was like, first of all, because it was her comment section since she was playing this video. I was like, first of all, I could not be happier the way the election turned out. And second of all, we actually are producing. We're just no longer producing for other people. And that's why these people are crashing out and lamenting as if the Lord Jesus Christ came down and rejected them. I swear to God, this is how these people are lamenting. It's funny to me a little bit because it's like, what? It's an election. Like, yo, these people are crashing and burning. But then it dawned on me, these two women, like a lot of other women that I probably haven't even heard from them, or have not come across their channels or whatever. I was like, these women basically came out the closet. Now, like I said, the one woman, I didn't hear about her predictions until after, like until today, which is after the election. But she posted this thing like, um, I would say a day or 2 days before the election, that her prediction was like, and that's the thing, they were predicting, you know, Kamala's going to win. They weren't predicting anything. They were praying and hoping and projecting a win for her for their own purposes. And when I say they came out the closet, I mean they literally confessed, A, not only that they were lamenting, but B, like basically they weren't even foundational Black American women. They just been cosplaying like Kamala. And I was like, so as much of incompetence as she showed during that whole campaign season, all the words that even the pundits was like, okay, I'm tired of the word salad city. That's what they called it. And after all of that, and not answering questions and not responding to the people and playing games and being coy and just making all kinds of mistakes. After all of that, these so-called sisters who were pretending they were for Black folks in America were really tethers and wanted her in office so that they can get a leg up. And a leg up for them is a knee on the neck for foundational Black Americans. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line to everything I just said. So it's interesting because one of them is a highly so-called spiritual, you know, I don't know what she calls herself, but she hears from, whomever, her guys, and she puts this stuff out, and like, this is what my guys tell. She, like I said, she has a large following. And then she only, at this point, it's looking like a false prophet because she only put a certain thing out there, and then she was like, you'll have to come to my webinar and pay, or come over to this platform where you have to pay and hear her, the rest of these predictions or whatever, these downloads she got. And the fact that it wasn't a download at all, but just her desire, her ego, her projection of what she wanted, of how it was going to give her a leg up. and not necessarily the people who basically have been supporting her channel, there was no prediction whatsoever. There was no credibility to her so-called prediction. And that calls into question every single thing she's been putting out there. If she was that wrong, if her so-called guys got it that wrong, then what else did they get wrong? Or is this just, you feel me? Like this is false prophecy. And then for the other chick, who came out later and, I do this, I do that, I'm about this, I'm about that, this is my resume, and this is who I'm connected with, and blah, 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 all of that. She too gave a prediction. Now she doesn't hear from her guys. She uses, I'm just gonna put it out there, she uses Cardology. So she has a large following based on her expertise in Cardology. So was her prediction based on Cardology? Or again, was it her ego, her desire, her projection on, and her, of who she just wanted to win? And if that's the case, that brings into question her credibility. Yo, this thing just got so crazy to me today. It did. It just got so crazy to me. Before I say another word, please like, share, subscribe for me. Please, please, please. And thank you so much for coming through and stopping by and just hearing me, kind of rant this thing out, because honestly, I'm chilling. I am not at my regular station where I would like take notes and try and stay on point. But I knew what I wanted to kind of get more into, just this thing that just played out today. So thank you for just hearing me out on this one. I appreciate you. Um, I promise you, I'm not, this is one of the reasons I don't predict. This is even as a Reiki practitioner. I call myself a practitioner and not a teacher master, because I think Reiki is not something you can master because it is not your energy. We are just channelers for the energy. That's it. And that's why I refer to myself as a Reiki practitioner. You feel me? Because it's just too easy to go so far over the edge when you get into spirituality, Christianity, religion, or even if you're doing astrology or tarot, it's just too easy to just go off the bed. And I really, I'm so happy that I'm kind of forced to, and I limit myself in a way to stay more in the middle so that I don't over spiritualize stuff or over astrologize stuff, or I don't want to do that. And I can't easily with astrology because I have so much respect for astrology as a science. But even then, you know, I'm if you think about this election and all the transits that were going on and people predicting it was going to be a hot mess and chaos and all this stuff, it's been a couple of little things happening, but nothing like the transits we have predicted. Nothing like that. So that's why for me it's like bring this back in the middle and just keep it, you know, just keep it stabilized, you know. And it's enough room where, you know, astrology can do what it does, but I'm just not trying to over spiritualize everything. Okay. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So thank you for just, like I said, stopping by and hearing me kind of work this energy out of my own system. And thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing. I appreciate you. But getting back to what I was saying, yeah, these women told on themselves. They told on themselves. They basically confessed that they were not foundational Black American women. They basically outed themselves about not being, um, you know, feeling like, not feeling like, not feeling like. Let me slow down here. It basically, they exposed themselves as cosplayers. That's exactly, in a nutshell, what this is. More women, very known in the spiritual community, and astrology community, cardology community, or whatever. These women are cosplayers. They confess. It was like their hurt over this election was so intense that it's like they had to blurt out the truth. Well, I have no intentions. This is what they're saying. I had no intentions of leaving this land. I was born here, even though my relatives are from XYZ, other places outside of the country. Oh, so that means that's you. That means you align with others in the diaspora, not foundational Black Americans. But yet you're over here and being an influencer and not exposing who you are from the jump and having a hidden agenda. That's what I'm getting to. That's exactly what I'm getting to. So this one sister, like the others, hurt so badly. It was like, I don't know, it was like a sword in their heart or something. I mean, seriously, even getting out on social media, just crashing out, confessing, exposing themselves, exposing their lives and their secret agendas as well. And then the one sister, she's just been stark quiet, like nothing. Because I guess when you get out on social media like that with that kind of following, and say, I'm gonna just tell you right now, Kamala's going to be the next president, blah, 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 blah. What? And now you have to answer to your followers, and they're lamenting probably, and they're questioning you, and they're looking at you probably a little side-eyed. That was no prediction. That was a direct hope, a projection of what you wanted, of an outcome that you wanted. It's crazy. Stone crazy. But I've been saying this is the beauty of Pluto being in Capricorn, especially it's very intense at 29 degrees, which is an anaretic degree. This energy is so intense that if your ish is not right, this is probably why people are crashing out. But their energy is intense because, like I said, for me, I was being tested in so many different kind of ways that I was crashing out myself. Although I wasn't getting out on social media doing it, I was just livid and upset because I was like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this. I got to go and fight for this. I can't believe they cheated me here. It was just, I can't believe, I can't believe, I can't believe. I was just like, oh my God. I was so relieved when that election finally happened. Even the day of the election, it was like, I got my peace. Because it's just been so intense. And what was happening with me had nothing to do with this election. Like nothing. But maybe a little something, because the day or two before, I felt Marsy, like Mars over the top, like the war end of Mars, like I had to temper myself a lot. And I think I talked about that in one of my videos. I was telling you guys, temper yourself, because I know if it's happened to me, it's happened to other people. But this energy, the way that this anaretic degree in Capricorn, 29 degrees with Pluto being in Capricorn, is having an effect on them post the election because, they didn't get what they wanted. The person who they wanted to win not just lost, but lost terribly. She lost, I mean, Donald Trump won by a landslide, and Harris did not exceed Biden in any of the counties. She did worse than him in every aspect of this country. There was not one box lit up in blue where she did better in any of the counties. I mean, that's a deep loss. And the loss is so deep that even the political pundits on the left were like, based on these numbers, based on these results, this has nothing to do with either side. This had more or less to do with what the people wanted, and the people have spoken. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like, how do you argue with that? You know, yes, you might limit. I mean, honestly, like I said, if I didn't get my way, I knew. I maybe that's why I was feeling what I was feeling beforehand, because I was like, I can't let this woman get up in this office. I can't let her do it. This would take me out. And thank God she didn't win, because I'm still here and I'm able to continue doing what I need to do and staying on point and standing on my square. If she had gotten in office, I just felt crushed. And maybe that's what these people are feeling, crushed. They're crushed. I mean, I can extend a little bit of grace in terms of their lamentations, but thank God I don't have to deal with that. Because you know why? I'll give, I'll just give them a little grace in terms of understanding. But every time the Democratic Party is in power, I get crushed every time. And I knew this time around, my footing was not stable enough that to put her in office, it was going to level me. I knew that. So these people are just getting a taste of what they've been doing basically to us foundational Black Americans. These cosplayers, these closet cosplayers, these pretenders, these down low tethers have been picking us off one by one, knocking us off our pedals, everything, snatching the rug out from underneath our feet, while they were, blowing up and, you know, becoming more powerful as influencers. Now, not only do they not have any influence, but now people are going to question their credibility because they came out with this fake prediction about who was going to win. And it was so far from the truth that it's not even funny. This man did not barely win. He did not win by the skin of his teeth, or no, he won significantly the electoral vote. He won the popular vote, and he flipped states that were traditionally blue. He turned them red. Come on now, stop playing. There was no question that he was the clear winner. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I honestly I don't feel I feel nothing for these women because you know what? You've been lying, you've been pretending, you've been falsifying things, you've been a false prophet, you've been lying, you were in the closet, you had a secret agenda, and that agenda was to take people like me out. And now you can't. Now you won't. And I'm going to make sure that these people never get another footing again. And I'm going to go out of my way. And I've never done this for any political party, any candidate, any side ever in my life because I had no faith in any of the political of any politics. I had no faith in it. But I'm going to step outside my comfort zone and I'm going to go and find an office or something where I can volunteer for the Reds and make sure these people, these cosplayers, these pretenders, these liars, these tethers, these, secret enemies who have exposed themselves, I'm going to make sure that they never get their footing again. I sure am. I sure am. And I do this for myself and for anyone else that this has been happening to. May you benefit from it as well. Okay. So that is my goal. And I'm putting it out there. And I have been challenging people since these election results. And let me tell you, they can't even come back and and rebuttal. They have no rebuttal. They're literally having to eat everything we say. They're literally choking on their crow. It's a beautiful thing, honestly. It really is. So that is it, beloveds. I've had a long day. And like I said, I'm in I guess I'm experiencing more transitional things. I'm being tested again. I got something in the mail and I was just like, I chuckled, but I could also feel a trigger there. And I was like, don't you dare respond. Don't you dare respond. So I'm not responding to those things. And plus, I need to stand on my square so that I could pass these tests. So, yeah, send some love and light out to me as I pass these tests this weekend. All right. So, thank you again for stopping by. Like I said, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you very much. And yeah, as I get more technically up to speed, I will absolutely, absolutely um, be on camera. Okay. All right. Many blessings to you, beloveds, and take care. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Oh, well, what's the I like to close out with? May your day/evening be as bright as your beautiful smile. All right. Love you. Bye.